Hey guys, welcome back to the garage. Today I got a really exciting upgrade for the V you're going to want to stick around for. We ordered some long tube headers straight from China. These things actually look pretty decent. So let me show you real quick. Look at these welds. They actually look really nice for Chinese headers. They only cost me a couple $100. They're DNA brand headers. So they're 1 and 3/4 primaries to a 3-inch collector. It comes with these little extensions that'll bolt right up to your OEM catback. So you guys all know, once you put a set of long tube headers on there, you kind of require a tune. So what we're going to do is I kind of alluded to this in the past, but I want to get around and start tuning my own stuff. So I bought a nice wideband O2 sensor, and I got HP tuners already hooked up for the car. So we're going to have to weld another bung onto the collector and yeah, start tuning this thing ourselves. So I'll be bringing you guys along as we install these headers on the Cadillac. Hopefully we'll learn something together and it'll go pretty smooth. So we start under the hood. First thing I did was I sprayed penetrating oil on each of the bolts, right? So the header bolts. But I noticed when I came to the back that there's a bolt missing. So I said, whatever, I can deal with one bolt. I'll try and remove that one later. So then I got onto the other side, the passenger side. There's a bolt missing there too. So not a great start to the project. We know we got a couple bolts to pull out once we get under there. Hopefully they're a little bit proud and we can get some vice grips on there or something. Once the manifold's out, it'll be so much easier. There's gonna be a lot of room. If it's really broken flush with the cylinder head, the heads are aluminum, the bolt is steel. Maybe I can weld a nut on there or something and get it out. Anyway, we'll figure out when we get there. That's probably a couple hours away. So the first thing we're gonna wanna do, just to get a little more room, is to remove this strut tower brace. Now, there's a couple big bolts around the strut towers. And then after that, we're gonna remove the coil packs. That'll really open up a lot of the space under the hood.
There's not a single day that passes without you on my mind. Not even 1 minute can end up before you come around. I yearn for the days when I see your face here before me. I long for the times you held me in your arms. Whoa. How I wish that you were here to give me.
Okay, so we got the coil packs out of there. You can see how grungy that is on the coil, on the cam covers. Pretty nasty. I'm definitely gonna have to clean those up before I reinstall this thing. I can't stand that. Anyway, taking those out really gave us a lot more room actually. So I still got to take the spark plugs out, but you can see now we can actually see the plugs and the wires, plug wires. So yeah, next thing we have to do too is on this side here. There's a dipstick. You can see there's this massive bolt right there. There's a massive bolt holding the dipstick tube in. So we're going to need to remove that because the headers are going to have to come out through the bottom and they just don't fit through there. And the dipstick tube runs, there you go. There's 2 bolts, header bolts, that are right across from the dipstick tube. So that's really the big issue. So Jason just showed up. He thinks he's got the trick to get these header bolts loosened up.
Liquid wrench sucks. This is magic juice. I was struggling with super lateral links and literally nothing worked. Propane torch, liquid wrench, none of that stuff. People are saying this is better than Kroll. So I tried it. 30 minutes later, everything was apart.
Kroll's way too expensive.
Yeah, this is...
Acetone and ATF.
Dyno ATF is critical. 50-50 mix.
Okay.
Let's check it out.
Let's try it. Alright guys, so we got the 8 plugs out. We sprayed a bunch more penetrating oil, some of Jason's magic juice on the bolts. Now you can see the 2 back ones, as I mentioned, they're both broken, so that'll be interesting to see what happens there, if we can get them out. But I think at this point what we need to do is start trying to take those header bolts out. So wish us some luck. Alright guys, check it out. So the magic juice worked. You can see that all the bolts came out, no broken bolts at all. So we left one on that side. And then on this side, we left that first one and then that last one. But yeah, all the bolts are loose and the manifold's completely separated from the head. So now it's time to go under the car and separate the catback from the headers and the cat pipe. So let's get it up on the ramps and we'll go from there. Okay guys, so we're under the car now, we jacked it up. And this is really the main reason right here, why I wanted to do this job. So the guy had a failed cat, and you can see he just booger welded this thing in here, which I personally wouldn't do. So anyway, we're gonna start by disconnecting the catback. So right here is your catback, right? It's all stock stuff. But we're gonna disconnect these two bolts there on the ball flange, and then that one there, and then we'll pop the manifolds and the cats out all in one shot. Alright guys, so check this out. We got the manifold out. We actually had to remove the cat pipe from the manifold just because my car is not high enough. If we would have jacked this thing up just a little bit higher, a couple more inches, we would have been fine. But anyway, this thing weighs probably a combined 25 pounds, right, for the two. And these long tubes, they're a fraction of that. Probably half. What do you think, Jason? 10 pounds, yeah. So yeah, you know what? I'm kind of a believer in this Go Juice here. This ATF and acetone mix. It just rattled literally every single one of these bolts off without an issue. The manifold bolts, no problem at all.
I think that's an MGM tech tip, Mark.
MG Motorsports Tech Tip. Mix acetone and ATF for complete nut busting power.
So like I said, guys, this is really the main reason I wanted to get rid of my manifold and put headers on. As soon as I went into the car and I saw this hack job in here, I knew right away. I was like, headers are going in, because like I cannot live with this. Like I would just be embarrassed. Look at that thing. This side's really not that bad, but I mean, he put like 2 pipes in here. And okay guys, so on the driver's side here, we tried to fit the header in, and we weren't able to. There was a steering shaft that goes right between here. Anyway, so we had to remove the steering shaft. It was pretty easy, other than the part that it was kind of rested on to the rack. But other than that, it came off pretty smooth. Otherwise, there's this battery cable right here that you can see that we wrapped with some header wrap. That's just to protect it from the heat. I guess it's a pretty common issue when you do headers, that thing melts and it gets in the way, blah blah. Anyway, on this side, you can see we have test fitted one of our headers. Now I marked it up on the top. You probably can't see it, but I'm gonna take this one back off and weld in an O2 bung for our wideband sensor. So when we do our tuning, we'll be able to have feedback with widebands instead of these stupid narrow bands on these things. Alright guys, so we're at the point where we need to install the O2 bung for the AEM gauge. So I assembled this thing real quick, pushed this thing as far as it would go. Judging by the driver's side, that's kind of pretty much where it needs to be. Then I pushed this clamp all the way up, right? So anyways, this right here is essentially as far as the bung forward as the bung could go. Now the bung has a requirement of being minimum 10 degrees from horizontal. So we're gonna have to put it right about here, which is kind of too bad. There's a whole lot of room underneath the car, but I don't like it as close to the narrow band as it's going to be. But regardless, this is all we got. So we got to trace this thing out and then start welding it up. Alright guys, I don't know what this Chinesium is made out of. I mean, it's supposed to be 304 stainless, but dude, this thing was so hard. I went through so many different bits. Like this one here just quit on me. Anyway, whatever. We got it drilled out. It's in there. It's a little off center. You can see my marks. A little tight to the other one, but I think it'll be okay as long as I can weld in there, and I don't think that'll be a problem. Can't be as bad as this thing anyway. Ooh.
Yeah,
My life is lovely now, I'm focused on me. You said you were about to die, I guess the car is on E. But see, I ain't even tripping, cause I just chose to believe that somebody gon' come around and give me just what I need. I don't wanna see you frowning, see you looking down and out, coming to me crying, saying you.
Alright guys, so I don't know if it's because I'm welding, you know, this mild steel bung with mild steel wire to stainless steel, but like, this is just nasty. I take it back, this can be worse than those cats. But anyway, it's kind of glued on there for now. I tried real hard to clean it up too. Before I started welding, I gave it some acetone wipe on both parts, and I don't know. It just seemed like it was spitting, like there was some contamination in there. So I think it's just the two different metals, but I don't know. Let me know what happened here. Okay guys, so this is kind of what it looks like. I got everything plugged in, or I mean, threaded in. Kind of a little bit of a monstrosity, no big deal. But anyway, so we're about to throw this thing under the car. It's a little bit like Medusa, doesn't it? Anyway, I'm gonna throw it in the car, and hopefully we'll be able to fire this thing up. Alright guys, so I also thought ARP was like a waste for my whole life. And I'm sure there's gonna be some arguments in the comments about it. But these things came out so easy that I thought, it's not necessary. But the fact that two of them broke in the cylinder head before we even got to removing them, you know, that kind of just tells me we probably need some better fasteners. Anyway, so we got the ARP bolts, and then we also have AC Delco OEM header gaskets. So the China headers come with these, I don't know, whatever you call them, graphite coated, impregnated stuff. Anyway, they're junk. And yeah, multi-layer steel gaskets for the win. All right guys, so I think it's all done. I got all these bolts tightened up. Probably can't see much. Now you'll notice I did even try to get that bolt out. It was inside the head. There was nothing left of the bolt when that broke off. So here's this side. You can actually see this better. Same deal with that black one there. I did end up getting it out. But anyway, we're just gonna run it and see if she seals up. If there's a leak, then we'll have to think about what to do next. All right, so under the car now, you can see we're bolted up to the cat back. So this clamp right here is not tight yet. I'm gonna leave that loose just for a sec, make sure everything's good to go, and then I'll snug that up. Now you'll see at the back, our wideband is just kind of hanging there. So I gotta route the rest of the wideband. But everything's bolted up, so we could technically start putting the engine back together and fire it up and see what it sounds like. Okay, legit first start. The header's all buttoned up. You can see it sounds pretty good. It's just a little bit quiet still for my liking, so we'll have to see what we can do with the mufflers now. The other thing too is you see the broken bolts that we had on the headers. The one on the driver's side, this one right here, it's leaking a little bit, it's ticking. The passenger side's fine, it's all sealed up, no issues at all. So I think what we might do later is in a future video we might just drill out that bolt and try to remove it. We'll have to figure out how the best way to do that is. I don't really want to mess up the threads. I don't want to take the headers back off. So we'll have to see how that goes. So make sure you hit that like and subscribe button so you don't miss any new MG Motorsports content. Have a good one.